What's up? What's up? What's up? I don't know if I can say that anymore because my middle daughter just clowned on me for like 2 hours last night for saying "What's up? What's up? What's up?" So I don't know. I've got to take some time with that and figure out if I can make my peace with a 9 year old just ragging on me nonstop. Love our kids, don't we? Make me like honestly, as much confidence as I've gained over the last couple of years, nobody can tear it down better than my children. Which I think attests to how much I care about them and what they think, but also my my emotions and self worth is at the hands of child terrorists at times. Something else to deal with. So today, I was having this thought about I talked about the other day, and I flat out said that masking is a lie. Masking is deception, and deception is lying, and not telling the truth is a lie by omission. So all these things are lying, right? I started to think about, I created a course on ADHD communication to help people communicate better. But what is the difference between watching people and trying to act like others that you think fit in well in order to fit in well? That's masking. Taking a course is teaching yourself skills to do something better. It's a communication course. You're teaching yourself how to communicate better. What is the difference between trying to improve your communication and masking to try to get by? And this is a question that I want to figure out now. As I'm talking it out, I'm thinking about this because I don't want to feel like I'm trying to encourage somebody to be something that they're not, because that is really not what I want to do. The whole basis of my communication course is about revealing your truth and using that to build a foundation to be able to communicate with authority and intention. But I feel like masking is much more about trying to be something that you're not. And confidence, I believe, is something that, there's kind of an interplay between trying to be confident and not being a confident person that involves some sort of role play, that you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. If you're not a person who's used to being uncomfortable, then you have to do it anyways. You have to try something that you're not really comfortable with. And that discomfort feels like a lie at times. And I feel like the real inherent difference is that intention that you have when you were trying to improve versus just trying to get along. You're trying to survive by being something that doesn't feel right. Um, I hope that whenever you're taking my communication course or any other one, it's because you want to improve the way you communicate with other people. You want to change the way that those conversations happen. You want to engage on a deeper level. You want people to be able to hear what you're trying to tell them because you're trying to show them who you really are. Whenever I was deep within my masking, I was trying to hide who I was as much as possible. I didn't want people to really get to know me. And I can't speak as to what masking is for everybody, but it is mostly defined as making yourself more palatable to a group by being something that you really aren't. And I think that if you're a person who doesn't communicate well, you're on the spectrum, you're ADHD, you have trouble with social filters, the things that are hallmarked as being good social skills don't come naturally to you, then accepting that and trying to improve on it is not the same as just trying to act like somebody else because that person looks like they're doing it all right. Um, the intention is really different. The intention of showing up and saying, I don't want them to see me. I don't want them to see me. I want them to see a version of me that is it's not real, but they like it. For one, it's usually they don't like it for very long because they find out that it's it's a cosmetic person. There's no depth to it. You haven't you It's hard to flesh out a full person that isn't you. And whenever you are actually making improvements on how you communicate, you are learning the skills that allow you as yourself to communicate on a deeper level. You're learning how to understand what you're trying to communicate. Like that to me is the biggest difference. You're trying to take what's in your heart and give it to somebody. So you're turning yourself inward. You're learning more about you to then be able to present yourself in a more understandable way. I don't think you're not trying to water yourself down. You're not trying to give, you know, be a smaller version of yourself. You're just trying to help other people understand who you are. And that's what good communication does. Masking doesn't take into account who you are. It takes into account who you think other people want you to be. And that's not it. That's not living. That's not effective communication. Effective communication allows you to engage in people as your or engage with people as yourself. And that's the goal for my communication courses. I want you to be able to, first off, have a foundation of your core values and beliefs that allow you to, for one, know what's important to you, know who you are. Like a lot of us kind of go through life without even knowing who we are and what's important to us, but defining those things and then allowing yourself to honor and promote those things as you start to engage with people on deeper levels. And it becomes a lot easier to engage with people on deeper levels whenever you're not worried so much about what they're going to think about what you say, because you know that what you say is what you believe in. And as you get used to that, as you get used to speaking to what you believe in and what's important to you, it becomes easier and easier to dismiss people who aren't able to respect that. It becomes easier to say, "Oh, you're on a whole different uh, on a whole different vibe than what I'm trying to relay to you. That's fine. You can have that vibe. That's great. I'm happy for you, but I don't want that vibe in my life because this is what's important to me. And if you don't have any desire to respect that, then you and I don't need to have any further conversation, any further communication. And if it's, when you take that same aspect to work, you realize, okay, this is something that we don't need to talk about this in the future. We're going to need to keep our conversation about, about our work and about these things over here that we can find mutual respect on. And I'm not going to try to pretend like I'm okay with, your off color remarks or your, sexist behavior or whatever. Like that's something that I've made boundaries for myself and I respect myself enough now to say like I'm not okay with that. I'm not going to pretend to be okay with that anymore. And that's the growth. That is how that looks. Sometimes it feels really uncomfortable to start out with, but then when you look back on all the times that you didn't have that awkward conversation and the things that it allowed you to be okay with, because one of my favorite phrases is if oh my gosh, I just totally forgot it. Um, if you're silent, you're complicit. So if you allow somebody to say something around you that you just don't agree with, but you don't speak up, then anybody who hears that, overhears that thing, is going to lump you in with that type of thought, and they're right to, because if you disagree with it, it is well within your right to speak out against it in a respectful manner, you know in a way that doesn't make you rude to the person just out of spec, but you speak with confidence that that's not okay. You're not okay with that. Anyway, so I'm getting a little off, a little tangenty, but I think that, yeah, because I was really kind of struggling with that, as like, is communication training, like, is that masking? And no, it's like I've definitely decided that it is not. It is much more about gaining the skill set to be able to better explain and convey to others who you really are versus trying to be something else that you're not to be liked. And one of those is a lie. One of those is a skill set you gain and you sharpen and you get better at, and helps you better show off who you are, because you're an amazing, beautiful person and people deserve to know it. So that is it for me today. If you are struggling with figuring all that stuff out, check out the 9 steps for the ADHD dad to radically improve communication, because it really covers in depth how you start to reclaim reclaim your voice, and how you start to speak with authority and intention by knowing what's important to you, by setting boundaries, and really just developing a system of communication that really helps you show yourself in honesty to the people around you. And the link is in my bio, that's in the description. Please check it out. It is, I mean, I've got a couple of people taking it now, and they're starting to tell me how much it's helping them already. And that's all I really want, is to give people these valuable resources to be able to communicate who they are better to the people around them. So until next time, be yourself and love yourself. I will see you tomorrow.